What is going on, Fox and Tenacious Fox here, your coach of the Indy Ivy Steelers, bringing you week 1 in the TCL. This is season 9 of the TCL, the first and only BDSP edition. So first off, we're gonna go into the team that we drafted, because I don't like doing draft. I really don't like doing draft videos. I'd rather just do it in the first match, which we're gonna have here for you as well. So we got the 5th pick in the draft, 5th out of 10. And we got really lucky. Extremely lucky. Because our first pick, what fell to us in the first pick was Mew. One of the best draft league Pokemon that you can possibly get fell to us in the 5th pick. People are sleeping. People are literally sleeping. Our buddy Jake got Garchomp the very next pick. So 2 of the best mons went 5th and 6th. So if that just tells you anything, well, the first pick was a Latias, so that was still pretty good. But the fact that Mew fell to us in pick number 6 or pick number 5 was just fantastic. I had backup plans. I thought about going with Celebi instead, because Celebi actually in this format can be pretty decent. But yeah, we got Mew. So many different things we can do with this. We can sweep, we can utility. It is just a great mon to have gotten in Draft League. Our next pick, I don't remember if this was our direct next pick, but I think it was none other than Salamence, another really good mon in BDSP. So now we have a huge sweeper in mind. We have a humongous sweeper. Can do so many things. Can either intimidate to kind of lower attack, and we can also run that Moxie, just get it sped up. We can run Scarf on it and just literally tear a new one through teams with this thing. And then I believe our 3rd pick was Mamoswine, even though I have this out of order. And I went Mamoswine before we finished out our Dragon, Fairy, and Steel Core, because Mamoswine is just such a threat in BDSP. It is humongous threat, which we're going to find out in this first match. So big of a threat. I did not want this thing to get sniped. I wanted to get this thing on my team as quick as possible, mostly because I didn't want to play against it, but also because honestly, one of our best seasons ever, we had Mamoswine that just tore straight through the league. And then next, I believe we went with Azumarill with our 4th pick. And the biggest reason is there are only 5 fairy types. I think I counted that right. I think there's only 5 fairy types in all of BDSP. And Azumarill, being that it can have Sap Sipper or Huge Power, gives us a grass immunity and gives us another potential sweeper if we have a good matchup in which we can get like a belly drum off. Definitely was something we wanted on our team, and it kind of gives us a second part to that Dragon, Fairy, Steel Core. And then our next pick was Skarmory, and this was a bunch of different reasons. One is a Steel type, so tons of resistances. We already kind of had no, we didn't have a rocks weakness. I mean, Salamence is kind of weak to rocks. Mamoswine's fine with rocks. The biggest thing that I wanted was hazards, because looking at our team so far, we've got Salamence that we could scarf this thing and then just bring it in with Moxie and just finish something off and literally sweep from there. Azumarill, which gets Aqua Jet, which again, we choice ban this Aqua Jet, and we could probably potential sweep teams if we can get the good amount of hazard stack. And then Mamoswine, literally Mamoswine, we can life orb this thing, we can choice band it, we can run utility. This thing can also sweep teams. So we already have 3 potential sweepers, and I didn't even bring up Mew. Mew is a potential sweeper as well so far. So we have 4 potential sweepers already, and we wanted to get some hazard stack with that, as well as defog ability, as well as kind of taking some of those more physical attacks. I don't remember who I picked next, but we're just gonna go with it. So next pick was Moltres. It was between Moltres and Articuno. And I eventually went with Moltres because I didn't have a fire type yet. And I thought Moltres would be a much better pick because I believe it's got higher special attack. And what my team lacks so far is special attackers. So I wanted to give opposing teams a little bit to think about. They can't just run a fully physically defensive team. They got to run some special bulk because otherwise Moltres will be able to come in and pick up some easy KOs. It also gives us another defogger. It gives us more U-turn support. It also gets flame body. So if somebody wants to run a fully physically offensive team, we can run a really physically bulky Moltres and hopefully get some flame body burns on our opponents. Next in comes Drapion because we needed a dark type and I really wanted a poison type that had toxic spikes. And again, another thing that we wanted was knockoff support. So in case you didn't know, BDSP has a lot of cut moves. Not cut moves, but a lot of Pokemon don't learn a lot of moves that they normally learn. So Mew is very cut down as far as movesets. Still very good. But I think Mamoswine doesn't learn knockoff here, which I think it normally does. I could be wrong. I'm not going to look it up now. I'm pretty sure it gets knockoff normally. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'm pretty sure Azumarill normally gets knockoff as well. Again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure they do. Regardless, we wanted to have a knockoff user. We wanted a poison type. And Drapion is just a perfect example, or a perfect specimen. Because it gets the toxic spikes. So again, hazard stacking and literally sweeping with anything scarfed or just sweeping in general with our priority. So more hazard stack as well as the knockoff support. And dark types are super good in BDSP because we need it. I mean, ghost types are so good in BDSP that we really needed dark type. Sorry, dark types are pretty good as well, but Drapion was that pick. Next we needed, I believe I ended up picking Miltank with this, but we're going to talk about Hitmonchan first because I needed a spinner. I really needed a spinner. I have 2 defoggers already, and they're good options for defog. But I wanted to have a spinner because I wanted to keep hazard up on my side. I don't want to just get all this hazard stack. I don't want to get 2 layers of toxic spikes, 2 layers of spikes, stealth rocks, and then just go in and defog them right away. We want to get some rapid spin action in there. And the other thing is Hitmonchan gets, again, a lot of priority. So it gets, I believe it gets Bullet Punch, definitely gets Mach Punch, gets Fake Out, gets Drain Punch so it can stay alive really well, gets Iron Fist, which means all of its punching moves are going to be extra powerful, and Hitmonchan actually kind of puts in work in this match for us. So Hitmonchan was one that I prioritized that I really wanted. Not usually a premier spinner, but I think we can make this thing work really well. And the next on the list was Leafeon. This pick was between 2 different mods. Because I wanted Rotom Mow at first. Because looking at my team, if somebody comes in with a Breloom, they can just spore anything on my team, and I can't do anything about it. Or Sleep Powder or anything. Literally any grass type move, I can get stalled by grass types right now. And Leafeon puts a big dent in that. So Leafeon cannot get stalled here. But yeah, Leafeon cannot get stalled by bulkier grass types. It actually can set up right in their face for the most part. And it also gets Wish support. So Wish was a really big one for me so that I could Wish Pass and keep some stuff alive a lot easier. Because as you'll notice, I don't have a whole lot of recovery so far. I think Salamence gets Roost. Skarmory obviously gets Roost. Moltres gets Roost. Mew gets Roost, and it might get Soft Boil in this gen. I don't remember, but Roost is fine with it. But for Azumarill and Mamoswine and Drapion and Hitmonchan, they don't really have reliable recovery, so being able to have the Wish in the back to kind of Wish pass them along would be really helpful. Another thing was because we didn't get Rotom Mow, because Rotom Mow actually got sniped from us, we only had 2 U-turners on our entire team. So we only had momentum from 2 Mons on our entire team. And Leafeon gets Baton Pass. Now, Baton passing a stat is allowed if it's only 1 stat. Probably should change that. Probably shouldn't have that as a rule because it's just kind of busted. Regardless, Baton Pass for us on the Leafeon, Baton Pass for us without any stat pass is still pretty good for us because it gives us another momentum boost. Baton Pass for us just essentially gives us another momentum user, which is what I really liked about Leafeon. It also has crazy high defense and attack stats, so it potentially could be a sweeper as well. No, I'm calling it here. Leafeon gets some kills this month, or this season. It's going to get some kills. It really will. And then lastly, we needed a tank. And none other, the best tank that we could possibly get is the Miltank kind. Yeah, so Miltank is here just to stay alive, literally. Just to bulk teams out. And that's kind of what we lacked so far. Azumarill is obviously super bulky, but it doesn't have a reliable recovery. It's more of an offensive threat. And Hitmonchan can be somewhat especially bulky, but doesn't have a lot of HP. So we really needed something with high HP, some high defenses. It gives us another Sap Sipper. It gives us a thick fat user. It just is an overall a good mon. And it also gives us another Stealth Rocker in case we don't want to run Stealth Rocks with Skarm or Mamoswine. We have a third one, or even Mew. Mew gets Stealth Rocks as well. We have a 4th Stealth Rocker in Miltank. So that is our team. Personally, just looking at the draft list for BDSP, it's my humble opinion that this is the best team that I've ever drafted just based on the draft list. Obviously in an expanded draft, this wouldn't be anything to gawk over. But based on what was available, I feel very confident with this team. Danny Mac, he actually agreed with me. He gave us the best draft grade. I'm not biased on his opinion at all, but I really liked this draft, and I thought it was a very strong draft for us, and I'm really excited for this season. And I'm gonna stop saying really soon. But anyways, we're gonna get into our first match, which is against Zamora Gaming, or otherwise known as Charizard King. I believe his channel is Zamora Gaming. Bro, if I forget to put your link in the description, which I will try to remember. If I forget to put your link in the description, just throw it down in the comment section. You have my permission. It's all good. But make sure you guys go check him out because he actually has some pretty cool Draft League videos on there. But anyways, first thing that I noticed is that he didn't bring the Uxie, which I kind of expected. Sort of expected. And I kind of built my Mew as an anti-lead for his Uxie, or potentially for his Shuckle, because I didn't want him to get rocks or... I didn't want him to get rocks or sticky webs, really. Yeah, so I didn't want him to get rocks or sticky webs. Spoiler. So having a taunt user on our team was going to be really good for us. We are turning that music off because that is loud as all get out. How does the dark look? Should I start doing it in dark mode? I probably should. Probably should start doing it in dark mode. And let's raise that up a little bit. Look, now you can see the verses. I don't know why I didn't have it set this way before. But anyways, he leads with the Swallow right away. And first things first, I maybe shouldn't have brought our Drapion because Skarmory would have been really good against this thing. And I don't remember why I brought Drapion. There was a specific reason. I think I just wanted another attacker, which I really didn't need, because I had Moltres, Salamence, and Mamoswine, which all... Salamence, or Mamoswine could win this game on its own. But I probably should have brought the Skarmory so that I could basically tank hits on this. But I knew we literally could not do anything here. There was really nothing we could do here, because if he was Boom Burst, special Boom Burst, which I don't know if Swallow can get Boom Burst in this generation, which might be why he ran this differently. Specs Boom Burst just absolutely traumatized my team here. I could not switch into that thing at all. So we're going to take a chance. We're going to take a chance to stay in. And he's gonna actually U-turn out into a Shuckle. Great for us. Absolutely great for us, because now we're just gonna click taunt. We've already gotten our stealth rocks up, so we're already gonna get some chip damage, which is actually really, really important. Because our Mamoswine can put in absolute work against this team. Nothing wants to switch in on an Icicle Crash. We are a Scarf set. We are speed crept this Haiku. So yeah, our Mamoswine puts in absolute work. Icicle Crash basically does about 40% minimum to his entire team, with the exception of the Shuckle. Actually, the Shuckle could, I think it takes about 25%, but even Kingdra takes about 40%. Kingdra, which is neutral and somewhat bulky as well, at least to ice type attacks. So yeah, Icicle Crash just absolutely dominates. But we cannot outspeed the Swellow. We can't outspeed the Swellow, so we have to go for Ice Shard, which means we had to get these rocks up, because what these rocks do is they put this Swellow in range of an Ice Shard. So now, no matter what, we know that this Mamoswine can kill his Swellow. Because he's the only removal he's got, I think, is Pelipper. And I don't know if Pelipper even gets Defog in this generation, because a lot of things don't get certain moves. But he is going to try to go for the Stuff Rocks there. We're going to U-turn out as he goes for the Infestation. We're going to go into our Great Chicken, the Moltres, because just looking at my team, Hurricane does the most of this thing, and that's actually what we're going to do. So we actually get the burn. We actually get the burn on this. Moltres ends up getting an indirect kill on... Well, we'll save that for later. But we do get the burn on the Infestation, which is awesome. Another reason we brought this Flame Body guy. And because Hurricane is going to be the best move to hit this, and I just want to wear this thing down. We can basically almost two-shot it here. He shouldn't be able to get webs and stealth rocks if we can hit our Hurricanes, which is going to be really good, because what he ends up doing is switching out into his Pelipper here, takes the rocks damage. He gets the Drizzle up. We go for the Hurricane. Now Hurricane is going to automatically hit. We go for the Hurricane and just absolutely pulverize his Pelipper. Just absolutely destroys it. So now we have to burn through all these turns, but then we have no more rain at all this game. And he's going to go into the Kingdra, which is obvious. We're going to switch into our Hitmonchan, because Hitmonchan was going to be our dedicated switch in for this Kingdra. And also, I believe we had it set. I don't remember if we had this set as our dedicated switch for his Tangrowth as well, because he did have a Tangrowth on his team. But yeah, so this is our dedicated switch in. He does go for the Surf and gets a max roll on us the first turn, which was really, really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. We find out he's Life Orb. We're going to go for the Fake Out just to chip this down and also burn a turn of rain. Because of the max roll, I don't feel comfortable staying in here, so we're actually going to switch into Moltres and sack it off as he goes for the Surf, takes out our Moltres. Unfortunate. And then he's going to stay in with Kingdra, obviously. But we are going to go for the Fake Out here. Burn another turn of rain. And then right here, he's going to go for a Surf. He actually goes for a Substitute. So we saw the 60%, and based on our calcs, that was basically a max roll. And I did not want to switch out from the same. I didn't expect the Substitute, but I didn't want to give this thing a chance to just stay alive. So I went for the Drain Punch, because I knew that Surf was probably a max roll. Now, he could have gone for a Hydro Pump here. Which would have been really, really dangerous for us. This thing actually could have really done a lot of work against us here. But we make the right play. We go for the Drain Punch. Get a bunch of health back. He does Surf here, puts us... that was about 57%. So if he had gone for the... man, he got two really high rolls against us in a row. Based on our set, he got two really high rolls in a row. And then we're just going to go for the Drain Punch again, knock this thing out, get back to 33%, and he's going to bring in the Swellow. Now, I make a really big misplay here. Now, what I should have done, because I don't really need it, is bring in this Drapion and let it get killed. That's what I should have done. Because Drapion we don't really need at this point. So I should have swapped into the Drapion, sacked that off, and kept our Hitmonchan alive. Because he still has this Shuckle. And the only thing that could stop our Mamoswine from just coming in and Icicle crashing to the win is Shuckle's webs. Which we're going to find out. I'm going to let this thing go down, which he does go for the Protect, getting up his, whatchamacallit? What am I can't even think. I can't even think right now. He gets his, burn, his burn. Gosh, I can't even think. And then burns the last turn of rain. And he's going to go for Facade. Obviously, this wasn't going to kill because we're a special set. Just such a big misplay there. Such a big misplay. We should have sacked off this Drapion. Because I actually think it would have survived a hit from Facade. Unless he was adamant. Which in case we could have just come in with Mamoswine and just clicked. If he was adamant, we could have just come in with Mamoswine and just click Icicle Crash, and whatever he brings in dies at that point. So we should have saved our Hitmonchan. He does come into this and switches into Shuckle. We go for the Ice Shard, is not going to do anything, and then we're going to switch to Drapion. I think this was our. I really didn't prep well for the Shuckle. I always think I prep well for Shuckle, and for whatever reason, I do not. Now I did consider going into Salamence. Was actually, I'm gonna check something. Because I don't know. Had I gone to Salamence here, I might have been able to set up and win. But I'm not sure if this thing gets Encore in this generation. So we're gonna check here really quick, which I probably should have checked during the match, which could have actually led us to a 4-0. Yeah, so Shuckle does not get Encore in this generation, which means we could have gone into Salamence here, Dragon Danced up, and literally won the game from there, which is really, really unfortunate. That's actually really unfortunate. I did not realize that Shuckle did not get... we literally could have Dragon Danced twice, and there was nothing this thing could have done. Yeah, so we could have gone to Salamence and Dragon Danced twice, and just literally finished this thing off. So that's a little unfortunate. I should have checked that during the match, but we don't. So we go for the knockoff here. Does about 25%. I think that was a max roll, so we did get a little bit lucky there. Then we go for the crunch. I thought this would kill. We got a middle roll basically. If he was max defense, we got a middle roll. Then he's gonna come into this thing, and this is where we're really bad. This is where it's really bad because, man, if I'd known it didn't get Encore, I would have gone into the Salamence right against this Shuckle and literally won the game from there. Because our Salamence was speed drept for +1 to outspeed this Swellow, and there was no way this Swellow was living a Dragon Claw at +1, just 0%. So that's really unfortunate. We could have gotten the 4-0 victory. But we're going to go into Swine here. We're going to click Ice Shard as he brings in the Nidoking. And this thing is just going to die. Look at that, 68% just from a Scarf set. He's going to bring in the Raikou. We can't risk this because we know he's going to go for the Scald. And he goes for the Scald. Gets a lot of damage. But we're actually going to live the second hit pretty easily. And we're going to U-turn out. And then we're going to go into Salamence. We know this thing cannot really touch our Salamence, so we're just going to click. Basically at this point, all I have to do is get this thing under 30%. Dragon Claw is absolutely going to get it under 30%. I think there was no way he could win here unless I choked really hard. I could, if I had gone for Earthquake and he switched into Swellow, there was still a chance he could win. Basically, I had to get some damage off on this. If I get this under 30%, then Ice Shard just comes in and cleans the game up. We're going to go for the Dragon Claw, do 59%. We're going to live another Scald and go for the Dragon Claw again. I could have just started... I actually could have just Dragon Dance. Probably still should have Dragon Dance so that I could win the match straight up with Salamence. That way I could have gotten the 3-0 instead of the 2-0. He's going to come in with this. He's going to take out our Salamence, and then we are going to come in with Mamoswine and click Ice Shard and win the game. So lots of misplays from us. Definitely a lot of misplays. Obviously letting Hitmonchan go down, and then obviously when it was Shuckle versus Drapion, we actually could have just gone into Salamence, clicked Dragon Dance, and literally won the game from there. So a couple pretty big misplays, but we didn't lose because of it. We just kind of lost some differential. Yeah, because we could have Dragon Dance with Salamence on the... Actually, you know what? The reason I did not Dragon Dance on the Raikou was because he was going for Scald. And had he landed a burn, that actually could have really been bad for us, because then obviously our attacks do half. But anyways, we do end up getting the victory. We get our first win, first win. We play, I can't remember who we play week 2. I think we play Fishbrat, who's also a pretty good player. And we're going to have to be ready for that one. We're probably going to have to play a lot better, because in this game we had a really great matchup with Mamoswine, and I don't think we have as good of a matchup next week, so we're going to have to play a lot better if we want to get the victory. But anyways, guys, if you did like this video and if you like our team, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you want to see more, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. But anyways, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, Fox out.